this is our introduction to ServiceNow support, and thanks for joining our July installment. It's a global audience, as you can hear. We have myself, I'll introduce myself momentarily, from San Diego. We also have some joining from Europe as well, London and Portugal we already saw. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So let's take a moment. And I just want you to know that this is our safe harbor notice, which simply states that everything shared in this presentation is based on information currently available as of the session, as of the date of this session. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into why we're here. Well, this is one of our Live on ServiceNow interactive event series webinars. And you can see the full schedule by scanning that QR code, or I'm going to drop into chat the link to where you can see our full schedule of Live on ServiceNow. So be sure to click on the link that's coming into chat, or scan this QR code with your phone or mobile device. We hope to have you again for another webinar or meetup in the future. And now that we've gotten that initial why we're here out of the way, let's go ahead and go into some housekeeping. So first of all, before we get started, Q&A. Questions will be answered at the end, but if you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to use the Q&A function in Zoom. As you can see, there's a Q&A button on your Zoom bar. Just click into that and we will answer your questions when we get to the end of the presentation. Also, this session is being recorded. So if you miss any of this session, or if you'd like to share it, it will be available in the ServiceNow community. And finally, there will be a survey at the end of the session, and we would love to hear from you, and thank you in advance for your feedback. All right, you're probably wondering, who is this person speaking to you? Well, let me introduce myself. My name is Vu Pham, and I am one of your co-hosts for today's session. I'm a learning solutions and delivery lead based in San Diego, and I'd love to introduce my co-host, Vanessa Bloom. Vanessa.
Thank you. Yep, my name is Vanessa Bloom. I am a senior director in our technical support organization. I run our U.S. federal support team, which is completely Americas based, as well as I take lead as the geo lead for Americas as well for all of our support organization. I'm based out of San Diego, which is ServiceNow's hometown, and I've been here, it'll be 12 years actually in November. So thank you all and welcome to our presentation.
Awesome. Thanks, Vanessa. Appreciate you being here and sharing your experience and knowledge with our customers. All right, so with that, we'd love to learn a little bit more about you, and I am going to launch a poll right now, and if you can please answer the poll and share, what role do you identify with? As you can see, we may not cover every role that's out there in our audience, but we'd love to hear approximately which role you most closely identify with. Let's go ahead and give it about 15 more seconds for all of you to click and hit submit. There's a choice of 4 there, and I'll go ahead and end the poll in about 5 seconds, and then we will share some of the results. Okay, so with that, I'm going to end the poll, and we can confidently say we are evenly split between developers, implementers, as well as system administrators. So we definitely have some technical folks on the meeting here. And we also have a few platform owners and business leaders. So quite a diverse audience. And thank you all for joining. Hopefully you find this session useful. Okay, let's go ahead and move forward. Here's our agenda today. We're going to introduce you to ServiceNow support and share our unique approach to better support you, as well as show you the amazing features in our ecosystem for all things support related, which is the Now Support portal. Finally, we'll show you ways you can engage us to receive support when you need it, and then we'll conclude with Q&A. Vanessa, how does that sound?
Sounds great. Let's get
All
started.
right. Cool. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them into the Q&A of the Zoom. So we'll get to those at the end of the session. All right. Okay. So with that, we'll start with our introduction to Now Support. And in support, we have a very unique structure where our customer service and support, global cloud services, as well as product development teams are part of one unified engineering organization. Vanessa, can you please share why this matters and what are the benefits to this approach and structure?
Yeah, sure. So there's several benefits with this approach. I'll kind of start with just saying that all three groups report up into the same person, which is our Chief Technology Officer and President, CJ Desai, which means that we all have common goals that we're working towards. It helps break down any barriers to get work done, help the customer on urgent P1s. We can grab a developer to hop on a P1 if we want. And there's just really no walls between our organizations. So ultimately, like the success of product development is tied directly to the number of issues they can help reduce. So the less issues that you guys are receiving as customers reporting into support, is tied to how successful our product development teams are. So it really just helps keep us all aligned to the ultimate goal, which is the customer's success.
That's great to know. And it sounds like it's a multifaceted approach. So being integrated, there's a lot of potential support as well as areas of opportunity for us to get the best service and products out to our customer. So
Exactly.
thanks, Vanessa. Okay, so as you all know, we're a global organization with many support centers around the world. Vanessa, can you share a little bit about how we're able to support all our customers across the globe?
Yep, absolutely. So we started when I first started here 12 years ago. We just had a San Diego location and an EMEA location. As you can see from this map, we've grown significantly since then. This was for many reasons. One of them was to help with work-life balance with our employees. We were working many different shifts out of those two locations. But now you can see we have 9 locations globally. We also try to align those locations with our site reliability centers so that we are on site and typically in the same office as our SRE. So if we have an EP1 or outages, we can all kind of physically run to the same area, have more rooms, things like that. Helps us speed up our time to relief when there's urgent situations going on. And we support both our commercial and regulated markets through these 9 centers.
Great to know. And speaking of this map and these 9 centers, um, you know, we talked about global support. And if I may ask, Vanessa, how do we support our customers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year? Because that can be difficult.
Yes, it is. But we use a model called Follow the Sun, which is an industry standard. It basically means that we are going to work your high priority cases that come in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, so that we don't skip a beat. Now, you guys as customers can also elect to not have a case travel around the world. And you just let us know that in your case, and then we'll make sure that that case will stay with the same TSC, assuming they'll be there the next day. And there's some consistency there, but otherwise it's going to automatically follow the sun if it's a P1, P2, or an escalated P3 or P4. And then non-escalated P3s and P4s are generally going to just stay with that same TSC that it initially gets assigned to and be worked within the core business hours for the customer.
That's great to know that our model adapts, I should say, to following the sun or the customer's preference, depending on the case. So
Absolutely.
thinking about our support and that introduction, can you share a little bit more about our approach here in this next segment? So as you can see, we are moving to understanding our approach. And let's go ahead and talk about what we do and what we don't do. So we do a lot here in support to assist and take care of our customers. But there are a few things that fall outside of our purview where others at ServiceNow, specific teams, can help support our customers. Vanessa, can you describe what kind of support we provide here in CSS, Customer
Yeah.
Support and Services, and what are the differences between what's in scope and out of scope?
Yep, absolutely. So this is a super important topic, especially because our support engineers are not trained on implementation and customizations and things like that. So we're what's known as a break fix organization. This means that our primary focus is on fixing out of the box product issues. So in scope services means fixing platform and application functionality. And then on the right hand of the screen, um, out of scope service means assisting customers with how to implement platform functionality or how to customize out of the box features and applications. So for customers who need that level of service, you guys can work directly with our professional services team, or you can visit our Now Create site. And there you're going to find step-by-step delivery guidance based on real world experiences and proven leading practices. In addition, you're going to find prescriptive methodologies, success packs, and other assets to aid in successful implementation.
Great. And Vanessa, you mentioned that there might be customers who need an additional level of service, which could be professional services. How can our customers and um, members of the audience here get more information about professional services?
So the best way to do this, like if you know right away that you're going to need help with like an implementation or customization, you can, I would start by contacting your account executive and go from there. And then they're going to be able to point you in the right direction.
Great. Thank you, Vanessa.
Mhm.
All right. Moving on. So we talked about what's in and out of scope for customer service and support. Now we're going to share a little bit about the 4 support packages. And as you can see, there are several levels here. So Vanessa, can you share some of the differences between the packages, which are base, guided, advanced, and total? And then what is consistent across all the packages?
Yeah, absolutely. So the support packages range from base to total. In base, the coverage focuses heavily on self-service, and the coverage is limited to 5 days a week. So basically Monday through Friday, 7 to 7 local time. There's not really a way to call into support. It's very much, like I said, focused on self-service. You can create a case eventually once it's prompted you through all the channels of self-service. So that does become an option at some point. And then in addition to self-service, the guided, advanced, and total packages all have 24/7 support coverage. And then the advanced and total packages have what's called impact squads. You'll see there at the bottom bullet. Impact squads consist of a customer success manager, a support account manager, as well as a platform architect who gets assigned to the account. And then as you can see in the red across the bottom, no matter what impact level you're in, all P1 outages are covered 24/7 for all customers.
That's great to know, especially that everyone is covered 24/7 for P1s.
Yep.
So, okay. Now, speaking of the different support packages, uh, what are the different response times that our customers can expect depending on the support level they have?
Yeah, so this is kind of a matrix. It's broken down by impact level, and then on the left is the P1 or the priority level. So as you move from base to total, the response times adjust to the customer selected package, with advanced and total having the quickest response times. As you can see, they're kind of cut in half, basically from base and guided, even more from base. It's very important to keep in mind that these response times are first or like initial response targets and not resolution times. So in other words, these are the times that we're committing to initially responding to a customer's request. And then we also train our engineers to make sure that they're doing a little bit of triage, a little bit of digging in the beginning so that we can make best effort to solve on first contact. So we try to have that first update as meaningful as possible.
Great. It's awesome to hear that the meaningful first response is very important, especially after these response times. So, okay. Um, let's go ahead and jump into our next agenda item. So we're going to move on to the introduction to the Now Support Portal. So with that, Vanessa, um, this is where we're really getting into the good stuff. So our ecosystem and the Now Support Portal is where you will go to experience ServiceNow support at its best. You're probably wondering though, what is the Now Support Portal? Well, as I mentioned before, it's an ecosystem of support tools, technologies, and content. So all of you, our customers, can find the answers that you need as quickly as possible. And it truly is the best way to experience support at ServiceNow because there are so many different ways for you to interact and get the support that you need. So thinking about the Now Support Portal, the best way to think about it is this. It is your one-stop shop for self-service help, support, instance and user management, and so much more. I'm going to launch a quick poll here, which is going to ask you, let's go ahead and launch it. Do you use self-service? So we'd love to know if you use self-service. And as you can see, there's several choices here. Hopefully, if you have a chance after this call, you'll be able to jump in and find out more about it. We recognize that many of you may be new to ServiceNow and may not have needed support yet at this point. I'll give it 10 more seconds for you to jump in and share your answers. And it looks like we're pretty evenly split here between a couple answers. So 5 more seconds, and I will give you the overview of the results and close the poll. Okay, so it's pretty evenly split with yes, I've used it and love it. And many of you just below that have not tried Now Support yet. So now that you'll have the opportunity to learn more about it from Vanessa, hopefully you'll have a chance to use it if you need it. And finally, there are just a few who still would like to know what is self-service exactly. So we'll definitely cover that. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into our overview of our portal. So
Let me just say, I'm glad there wasn't anyone that said, nope, I don't like it. That's awesome. We've made a lot of improvements over the years, so it's really great to see.
Thanks, Vanessa. And yes, I neglected to say that nobody said they didn't like it, which is great to know. Okay, so how do you get to the Now Support portal? Well, you know what? Super easy. Just support.servicenow.com. So if you want, go ahead and open another tab if you'd like and click into it. And you can click around and follow along with us. But we're going to give you a brief overview of not all, but many of the different functions in Now Support Portal. Okay. So this is the Now Support Portal homepage. And this is where you go if you need to ensure the security and health of your instances by viewing information about them, scheduling clones, activating plugins, and requesting password resets. This is your place to do all of that. If you need to manage upgrades and keep your instances up to date, this is where you can do that too. If you need to manage cases and changes, guess what? You can do that here. And finally, if you need to manage users and key contacts, this portal is your place to do that. I think it goes without saying that this is your place to manage your instance as well as your implementation of ServiceNow. So I think it's a good time to call out the KB article in the lower right-hand side of the slide. You'll see this throughout the presentation today to let you know that there is additional information on the topic, and this will also be included in the resource section of this deck, and this deck will also be shared on the community page. So now that you have an idea of the instance dashboard as well as the portal. Sorry, the portal dashboard. And now we're going to go into the instance dashboard. So I'm going to focus here for a moment, and you can get here by clicking on instances in the menu bar of the Now Support portal and selecting the instance dashboard. Vanessa, can you share what are some activities that customers can do here on the instance dashboard?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a super important tab. And this is where you're going to see all of your real-time status information, such as uptime, what current version your instances are on. You can schedule upgrades from here. You can view your changes or cases against any given instance. And then using the actions tab, and I think if you click, it's going to give us an automation, maybe not animation. Oh, it didn't do it. It's
Oops,
okay.
it
Using the
yeah,
actions tab, you can also take actions against the instance as well. And you can see in that screenshot, you've got your access to activate a plugin. You have your request demo or remove demo data, all kinds of stuff that we're going to get into in a little bit.
great. Yeah, so many actions you can take, as you can see on that screenshot. And then now we're going to jump into the maintenance center. And we're just going to touch base on this here. This is a dedicated place for customers to view, track, and engage your maintenance communications on the ServiceNow portal homepage. When you click on the existing records here, um, you'll go ahead and jump into the maintenance center, and you'll see here several things. Vanessa, can you share a little bit about the information that the maintenance center will display?
Yeah, so the maintenance center is actually relatively new. So it's going to, and this is great because it's going to give you some like the most recent communications about the maintenance happening on your instance that we've sent out, patching and program records, and also communications that might need your attention. So this is kind of your one-stop shop to kind of see what's going on versus digging through your email.
And why is this so important and useful for all of our customers on our meeting right now and those who aren't?
Yeah, I mean, it's really just to stay in the loop on the most recent communications that are being sent out. We do have maintenance that happens regularly. We have end of life upgrades that happen, all kinds of stuff. So it's really to help you stay in the loop on what's going on with your instance, easily see communications again, so you're not digging through emails. And then you can also ask questions directly through those communication records if you need any kind of clarification.
Great. Thanks, Vanessa. So now
Mhm.
that we've had a brief overview of the instance dashboard as well as the um, maintenance screen, let's go ahead and talk about how to get support. And let's think about it this way. There are several ways to get support. And you'll see here, you can type your support, but you can also click on the Get Support button. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this. Um, when we are at the Get Support screen here, uh, on this landing page, where do we start? So how can I start my support journey, Vanessa? Where would you recommend?
So if you're new, I'd start by going to the Get to Know Now support area. And from there, there's three resources that will give you information on how to get started. Clicking on each resource is going to pull out a side menu for additional options. You can see here. So in the getting started section, you're going to learn about Now Support or get access to our Now Support mobile app. And then what I like about this section is the Now Support onboarding checklist. This is where you can check off key tasks that's going to help you ramp up as a new Now Support user. And some of those items we're actually going to go through today.
Great.
And then using Now Support section focuses on how each of the key roles can use Now Support from an admin to a partner. And then lastly, in the My Service Now section, this is one of the places where you can manage your profile, account, and preferences.
Awesome. Thanks, Vanessa. So I think it's safe to assume that our customers know that a knowledge base is a collection of easily discovered KB articles. And as you can see here, There's thousands of them on specific topics connected to the platform. But what is equally, if not more important, is how we use our knowledge base. So Vanessa, let's start with access. How can customers search our knowledge base?
Yeah, so it's very similar to like a Google search. You're going to have your global search bar right there at the top. And then you can ask a question or do a keyword search, and then it's going to basically pull back any knowledge article that relates to what you searched for. And it's also going to pull in stuff from the community as well as the knowledge base. So product documentation, community posts, KBs, it's going to give you all in this one-stop shop.
Great. Yeah, so it looks like those two boxes there on the screen, the search box and the view knowledge base box in the lower right-hand corner might be the best initial places to start here in the knowledge base. Here at ServiceNow, how do we manage our knowledge base, Vanessa?
So we use something called KCS, which is Knowledge Center Support, to manage our knowledge bases for our customers. And what this means is that our engineers are ensuring the content is relevant and created and updated as they investigate and resolve issues. So we encourage our support engineers to write articles while they're resolving issues proactively so that our customers have quick access to stuff that's happening in real time.
So if our engineers are taking that approach to write as they are solving cases as well, what's the benefit to our customers on this approach?
I mean, the best benefit really is that the customers know that the KBs that they're looking at are either being actively updated or been recently refreshed, and that it's always got the most accurate information in them.
Awesome. Awesome. That's good to know. So moving on from our knowledge base, um, you know, when it comes to patching, I'm sorry, when it comes to uh, the features of our knowledge base, how can they access this further? Like, what are some of the additional features on our knowledge base? Sorry about that. Uh, I see that they can access patching and upgrades to stay up to date. Um, can you share a little bit about the frequently used resources on the left-hand side here of the screen?
Yeah, so there's a couple things over here. We have information on our patching program, our end of life upgrades or EOL upgrades, and fundamental information about patching and upgrades. So there's a few things that you can learn here. For instance, there's a video on how to upgrade an instance, which is super important to watch before you go through that. And that's where we describe the process of planning, testing, communicating, and applying a ServiceNow instance upgrade. That information can also be found on the product doc site. And then what's cool is you can also self-schedule a patch or upgrade right from this page.
That is really cool. Um, what are some of the takeaways our customers can get from this section about our patching program?
I mean, I think the best takeaway is that, you know, everything is at your fingertips in the screen. You're going to get your notifications on when things are happening, and you can also, again, like I said, self-schedule your patch or upgrade.
Great. Thanks, Vanessa. All right. So let's talk about cloning, because using the system clone application to copy everything in a database from one instance to another um, can be daunting. And cloning is typically used to copy a production instance to a pre-production instance to test changes. And cloning data comes from the most recent nightly backup. Here, we have a lot of information about clones, from the general information about them to articles related to common issues. Vanessa, what happens if I or a customer wants to know more about how a clone works?
Yeah, so there's a clone basics KB. It's the one highlighted on the screen. And you'll get basic information about how clones work, cloning options, rollbacks, data server configurations, and much more.
Awesome. And what happens if I have an issue with a clone or want to know more about uh, the information out there to begin troubleshooting my cloning?
I'm glad you asked. We have a handy dandy clone FAQ, where we've compiled a list of like recently or most frequently asked cloning questions that we get here in support. And we even have a clone tips and tricks section where you can get the best experience learning how to use the clone process.
Awesome. So right there on the center of the screen, the basics, the FAQ, and the tips and tricks are probably my best friends to start cloning. So, okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Vanessa. All right. We had talked about instance management earlier. And here we have some management activities which should be performed with caution. Vanessa, on a high level, can you share what these activities are?
Yes. So the ones that we kind of want you guys to be able and go forward or be cautious with when you perform them would be things like retiring an instance, renaming an instance, restoring an instance. So for example, you might no longer need an instance or need to revert back to a certain point in time. You can do that here. A couple things to note is that these are all automated actions and that they will get processed once you submit them. Some of these activities can only be performed on non-production instances. So for example, restoring or Z-booting, yeah, Z-booting, I think we have a little, yeah. Um, so Z-booting is basically where you're doing a complete reset of your ServiceNow instance to an out-of-the-box configuration. So all your customizations and configurations will get wiped away. So you can think of it as something similar as resetting or rebooting your phone to factory settings. It's going to bring your instance back to an out-of-the-box version. We do get asked like, hey, why is that there? It allows our customers to kind of clear out any demo data that was brought in for testing. Typically, we see customers using this to get like a subprod on the most recent release and patch so that they can start building and developing on that instance. So proceed with caution on the Z booting, but it is there for a good purpose.
Sounds like it could be a good time, but hopefully an easy one, relatively speaking. So thanks for the background on Z-booting, Vanessa.
Mhm.
All right. Um, you know, taking a look at the support portal here, there's another feature that I think we should highlight, and that's the instance troubleshooter. Uh, Vanessa, why is the instance troubleshooter important? And let's start with what is it?
Yeah, so the instance troubleshooter application enables system admins to troubleshoot and resolve issues directly within their subprod or production instances without needing to reach out to ServiceNow support, customer support.
Great. So now that we've shared a little bit about what it is, how does it work?
So the application runs a diagnostic check on common configurations related to a number of different products and services on the platform. Then the findings are then shown on a summary screen along with recommendations to fix them. Then the admins can take action to implement the fixes and verify the resolution of the issue. And then if the issue isn't fixed with the provided information, you can use a troubleshooting summary results to open a case on our support.
That is really cool that our customers can do this on their own. Makes it really easy. Um, speaking of more that our customers can do on their own, we talked about the knowledge base earlier, and complementing that, we have a known error portal, which is a handy repository of known errors on the ServiceNow products that have been found or reported. Vanessa, why is this a valuable tool for our customers?
Yeah, so it's a little bit different than anything we've talked about before. So it's important because known error articles describe possible causes of issues within the system, along with steps to reproduce and possible workarounds that have already been proven to be successful. So keep in mind that not all known errors will affect all users. That's why you can automatically show known errors for your production release or simply browse known errors that you subscribe to.
That's great.
Um, Yeah, it's been a valuable tool for our customers, and we're always looking for ways to make it better. And we've also recently up-leveled the portal experience based on feedback from our customers. So if you've been here a while and you've had some experience with the known error portal, I would recommend kind of going back in there and taking a fresh look at it. There's new filtering capabilities and the ability to search for articles. And then a lot of our customers use this to plan for their upgrades as well.
Very cool. Awesome. That's great to know that this is a great resource for our customers. In addition to the known errors and the known errors catalog, we also have the service catalog available. And the service catalog is unique because it's all about automation. I mean, we know ServiceNow is great with automation, automation, and automation. But the service catalog is a critical part that allows our customers to drive actions on your own. So they often don't even need the help of an engineer. Vanessa, when it comes to our service catalog and automating self-service, what are some of the top self-service requests available here?
Yeah, so I think our most popular one is activating a plugin. There are a lot of plugins that are available to be activated directly from your instance, but for the plugins that don't show up on the list of plugins in your instance, you come here to put in your request to have that plugin activated. And the next one is my IP information. Most of you probably know ServiceNow can be integrated with items inside your company network. So you might need to know the actual IP addresses that will be sending or receiving traffic. So for example, your network admins might need to add these IP addresses to a whitelist. So what's really cool about this catalog is that we use our own workflows to automate processes so that you, our customers, can run your own common requests without intervention.
Great.
And then if you want to see all the automations that we offer, you can select the view all, which is going to take you to the entire catalog.
Okay. Really cool. So there's a lot here in the service catalog, and knowing that there's a wealth of information here, let's go ahead and jump forward into the manage my account, where you can manage your company's account and users. I think this is something that many of our customers really, really leverage because it's so important for our customer and partner administrators, for all of you to keep your company contact information accurate and up to date on Now Support. So with that, knowing that this section provides information related to various account management activities that administrators can perform, Vanessa, can you share why this is important?
Yeah, so our communications will pull from these fields in order to send critical communications to our customers. So these company contacts are super critical to keep updated so that we can communicate with the right people at the right time without missing a beat, really. So for example, company contacts are notified by email if there's a mass outage or an issue affecting the company's instance or your instance. So we kind of recommend to have a minimum of 2 support admins at all times in case somebody is unavailable. The other one can be there to receive the communication, ensure there's no disruption in managing your instance in the portal.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great tip there. And what would you say the impact of not having updated contacts could be?
I mean, I guess it would just be missing important notifications such as outages, and knowing what's going on with your platform. I think even if it's just from a security standpoint, if somebody leaves the company, but they're still populated in the fields, and they call into support center, we don't know that they're gone. We still see them in the system. So you can see where that could become a problem.
That's great. Now, speaking of this, though, how do our customers here on the call actually go to manage their contacts here on the screen?
Yep. So you just click on the drop down next to your name and select manage account and users.
All right. And it looks like here's a list of users that uh, can then be managed. So,
And
okay,
then,
go ahead.
yep. So here is going to show you all your users, and then you can add, remove, update the contacts.
Got it. Great. And
And
now,
then
yep.
there's different types of contacts too. So you're going to have admins, business contacts, support contacts, technical contacts, and security contacts. These could all be the same person, I doubt, but you know, this is to make sure the comms are going to the right people. And then you can also see from here who your support account manager is and your account executive.
Oh yeah, that's great to know. Okay. Uh, so we are coming in on the home stretch here. Just a couple more different areas of the Now Support portal before we move on. Um, as we round out the tour here, um, did you know that customers have direct access to our Now Support YouTube channel right inside the portal? Um, and what's even cooler is that the latest videos are loaded automatically for you. So you, all of you watching, never have to worry about missing out. Vanessa, what can our Now Support YouTube page do for customers?
Yeah, so it's our official video destination for Now Support product documentation. So if you see anything else out there on any other channel, that's not an official video. But it lets you get started with a product or feature that you're wanting to implement. You can understand certain concepts and processes and learn how to perform complex tasks within the system.
Great. Okay, so finally, thinking about our global family of users, all of you on the call right now, and so many other, we also have uh, our ServiceNow community. Now, you know what they always say, two is better than one. And this is why community is very important. And at ServiceNow, there are over 455,000 active users across the globe that have proven to help play a larger role in the overall experience of our customers over the past few years. Um, Vanessa, what are some of the highlights and benefits of using our community?
Yeah, so I've worked with a lot of customers who actually use this as their go-to resource before they even come into the portal to find answers to their questions. Because we have forums on certain products, product hubs. You can find events that are going on near you to connect with your peers. There's blogs, all kinds of stuff. So whether you're a customer, developer, prospective employee, fan of the brand, please know that this community belongs to all of you.
That's awesome. And then you had mentioned product hubs. Can you share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so during a recent refresh of our community, we introduced product hubs. So these are highly curated collections of the most relevant and important content you will need on your implementation journey. And we've broken it down into 4 stages most customers go through, which is getting ready, configuration and go live, optimizing, and do more to take ServiceNow to the next level for your organization. And by the way, there are still forms for every product, just in case you can't get your question answered.
Awesome. And I think forums are some of the best places to get help. So, okay. Well, now that we have an overview of the Now Support portal, this is just an open question for all of you. You've seen many features on the portal, including the knowledge base, the service catalog, video tutorials, and the ServiceNow community. So we love to see what you end up going to try next. And before we jump into our last agenda item here and then Q&A, I know we do have a question in queue here. We're going to just quickly share what is beyond self-service. And when you think beyond self-service, you're probably now thinking, okay, I actually need support. How do I get that? So how do we engage support? Well, we understand that all issues may not be solved by self-service. But rest assured, we have support engineers who are really eager to help all of you, our customers, as best as they can. And with that, the way you can reach our customers, sorry, our engineers as our customers in the Now Support Portal is by using the Create a Case feature. So when you click on that button in the lower right-hand part of the screen there that says Create a Case, you'll be taken to this form here. Vanessa, can you share a bit about best practices to create a case?
Yeah, I think if you've been in this industry for any amount of time, you know that we need you to be as specific as possible. So we need lots of details. So attachments, screenshots, error messages, what steps did you take before you encountered the issue, so that we can try to duplicate that. And then when you're creating the case, so I would kind of generally recommend considering some of the questions, such as like, what was the exact issue? Is the issue occurring right now? Can the issue be reproduced in a subprod environment? Is it affecting a specific users, a group of users, all users? When was it first noticed? And then also keep in mind, if you need to get in contact with the engineer assigned to your case, the best way to do that is to call us directly if it's urgent. Sometimes our customers have built a great relationship with their account executive and will escalate to their account executive. But that only delays getting the message to our support team. So when in doubt, give us a call. It gives you an option to type in your case number to get direct access to your TSC.
Awesome. So thinking about a case, now that our customers may have submitted a case, what happens after that case is received by support?
Yeah, so we have some machine learning that makes sure that the case goes to the right, what we call SME group. And then from there, we have it assigned to the proper TSE with the skills to help resolve the issue. If they can, troubleshoot it on the initial contact, they'll go ahead and throw it into solution proposed, and you guys will accept the solution if it works, and the case will get closed. However, if that initial support engineer needs a little bit of help, they can collaborate with their peers. And if that doesn't work, they need a little bit more help. Let's say it's something with the code or maybe a bug, we can escalate over to platform and product development, and those types of teams. And this is all seamless. It stays assigned to the original engineer, unless of course it's in the wrong group, then it would go to a new one. But all of that seamless to you guys. We kind of keep it all assigned to the same engineer and then get you your solution. And then eventually the case gets closed once you're able to test it.
Fantastic. Now, when we think about engaging support, you had mentioned the tech support engineer, and we understand that all issues may not be solved by using self-services here and the support engineer. Can you had mentioned these best practices. I just want to reiterate, as you can see on the screen here, these best practices. And then we also talked about the workflow. And finally, now let's talk about customer surveys. As you know, the saying goes, feedback is a gift. And here in support, we love to get that feedback after the cases have closed. Can you please, Vanessa, share a little bit about how important surveys are to us?
Yeah. So believe it or not, we do read every single comment that comes in, good or bad. We definitely use this to kind of understand the quality of service that our engineers are giving to our customers. So the survey is going to ask you things like, were you satisfied? Did the assigned engineer understand your issue? Did you get a timely response? Was your issue even resolved? And then we use that feedback to make any improvements to the service that we provide.
Great. Okay, we're now to our last agenda item, which is our wrap up and Q&A. So with that, let's go ahead and wrap up and then we'll answer any questions in queue. Currently, we have at least one question. If anybody has a question, please feel free to drop it in the Q&A function in Zoom. So we've covered a lot today, and from our self-service portal to how to engage support, as well as an overview of the resources available to you and how our support model is constructed and organized. But there are three things that really stood out to me today, Vanessa, based on what was shared by you. And that is one, use the Now Support Portal. It's a robust selection of self-help options to help you get the support you need. Two, join the ServiceNow community. It's a wonderful resource for our customers across experts and other users of ServiceNow. There's over 455,000 active users here. And finally, when you create a case, as Vanessa mentioned with those best practices, please be thorough. We love details. It helps everyone. And the best way to say it is help us help you. And as mentioned, this list of KB articles and resources will be available in this deck that will be shared out on community. And let's go ahead and move into questions. There is a question in queue, and I know Vanessa can answer it verbally or can respond directly in chat here or in the Q&A function. But is Z-booting meant to bring your instance to base implementation state, Vanessa?
Um, to clarify, if you're talking about your implementations that you've customized or activated or anything with an instance, no, it's going to wipe everything out.
Okay, good to know. Hence the caution earlier, right?
Yes.
So, okay, all right. I don't see any other questions, Vanessa, both in Q&A and in chat. So let's go ahead and share some final reminders. So as mentioned earlier, community is a huge resource, and we'd love for you to join our community by registering in servicenow.com /community. And again, this is where you can get fast answers to your questions and issues, as well as participate in discussions with other users. Vanessa, go for it.
So we got a lot, we got some questions after I talked about Z-booting.
Oh,
So
great.
I don't know if we can go back to that slide.
Yep.
But basically there's an option in the service catalog to do a Z-boot. It's not going to give you the option on your production instance. So there are some boundaries put in place for that. But it's really more for like, let's say you want to test I don't know, customization or a new implementation, or you're just starting at ServiceNow and you have demo data in an instance and you want to get rid of the demo data. It's gonna, that option puts an instance back into out of the box. So no customizations will exist anymore. No demo data will exist anymore. And here, I'm going to put that. Well, I just hit enter. It's called Z-boot. So super important to know and be aware that of what it does, but also that there's boundaries to protect your production instances.
Awesome. Thank you for those great questions. There,
There's one more.
yeah, I was gonna say there's another question. Thanks, Vanessa.
Um, is it Rakini? I might need to have a little bit more context on that. Are you gonna send out my contact information to this group? Maybe you can email me, Rakini, because I don't think,
Yeah.
unless I can allow to talk.
Yeah, I don't think I can let's see here. Rakini, feel free to chat us your contact information if that's okay. And then we can follow up. I'm double checking here. And I can allow you to talk if you'd like, Rakini. So I am going to enable that now for you if you would like to come off mute, and you can unmute if you would like.
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I think we tried to build some kind of features using the predictive intelligence, and we wanted to set up some kind of capability for us to be using the knowledge bases, the known era article knowledge bases. But then there was one requirement that we had where we wanted to link the usage of those articles to an incident, and I think that capability is available within the native view in an incident form for the out of box knowledge search. But the new capability we built for the similar known article, we're not getting that option to attach a known article. And I think it was picked up within my organization, and they identified, and I think it was reached out to ServiceNow as well. We have a case raised with yourself as well, and it was told that it can be done within only service operation workspace rather than the native view. So, and we don't have all the users in using the SOW yet, so we are not getting that capability. So which is why I was wondering, and I mean, why are there some limitations between these two views?
Yeah, no, I understand what you're asking. I wouldn't be the right
Mm.
person to ask, unfortunately. We'd have to ask the development team for that product. Without really having seen the case. I don't know the details around your implementation. Um, but I would say if the case is still open, you can actually ask to speak with the development team, and they can help kind of give you guys some reasoning behind it, or help, give some guidance on if it can be implemented. So if it's even possible, they can say, yes, it is. And if that's the case, you can ask you might have an implementation partner that you're already working with,
Yeah,
but you can ask them to help do that. So I don't have an exact answer, unfortunately, because there's so many variables.
yeah, I understand.
But I would ask that in your case for sure.
Okay, perfect. Yeah,
Thank you, Rokini.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're at time, and in the interest of time, Vanessa, I'd like to thank you for your knowledge, sharing your experience. I'd love to thank all of you in the meeting for sharing where you're from, also asking thoughtful questions. This will be available on the ServiceNow community portal, and please join us for a future session. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to support, and we'll hopefully get those questions answered as well. So thank you all. It was great having you, and I hope you have a wonderful evening and a wonderful day. Thank you, everybody. Oh, and also, Vanessa, it looks like there might be some questions for you, so please feel free to respond. So
Yeah. So I threw my email in there. Feel free to ask me. I can't guarantee that it'll be answered within a certain time. That's why we use cases if it's going to be something technical. But I'm more than happy if I have time to answer any questions that come through from this webinar. Just maybe put in the subject that you were in the webinar and you have a quick question. Be happy to answer.
great. Thank you, everybody. Have a
Thank
great
you so
evening and
much.
have a great day, and take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.